Working on the dinette. So that's the forward area, looking forward. This is going to have a swing back and forth to sit. So when you're looking forward, sitting here and forward, it'll swing back. When you get ready for dining, swing forward. So, of course, cushion area seat. That'll be cushioning all the way from that corner along the back. The cushion will be along that edge right there, back. That's just a flat back to sit against. And I'm putting hatch holds. They'll be hinged so that I can open them. I'll have recessed screws in them. This gets boxed out. It'll have hatches. It'll have one hatch in here because that's where all the heating is going to go in there. The glycol tank, the zone valves that are going to supply the heat exchangers, because I'm going to have 2 or 3 of the blowers. And there'll be one blower sitting here at least, maybe 2, because I need to feed down underneath, feed back to the head with heat, and feed one out into the cabin area. So this is 36 inch, and the dinette table will raise and lower. So it'll make a bed. It's going to make a 6'6" from end to end at least for laying in. So that's the big area. In the back wall will get finished with wood. Get a little light down there. Got the bow rail welded out. I left this one little piece up here. It's laying right here. Left it out so we can hop up in and out. And that's it, like that one over there. You can see it's dropped down a little bit for looks. So the bow rail's done, welded. So I've got a lot of the dinette framed out now, and you can see this is my pivot for the back of the seat. So when it's back here, it gives me about 32 inches with the foam, which comes out a bit to the fore dashboard. So you can see there's a pocket down there, and at the bottom it gets a 1/2 inch stainless bolt. And I welded in some solid aluminum in the end of it so they don't wallow out over time. So that'll be formed in around like this one is, and then we'll make cushion or something we'll finish off for this. As this just goes back and forth, it just leans. And then, of course, I got the I knew that was going to happen. So the hatch lids underneath, that's the wine storage, and that's the cups for wine, maybe vice versa. And that there, of course, is where my heating apparatuses are gonna reside. And there'll be a blower in there mounted so that I can roll back and then feed my hoses back through. Tomorrow I'm gonna finish this off like this here with a hatch, one big hatch, and then this here will have a smaller access hatch All right, Dinette's welded out. The swivel backrest pulls forward. And storage cover hatches are in place. I've been putting little angle brackets so that when I set them in place, they kind of sit right there. I'm going to put soundproofing underneath of these to help the tinniness, and also paint soundproofing, I think, in the tubs. Pretty happy with the seating. Nice big dinette area. And I'm working on the Helm seating box. That's going to be life jacket storage underneath there in that hole. Then I got an electric 120 volt heater that goes here. And then underneath is going to be all my documentation storage. So tomorrow I'll start capping this off, finishing the sides, and then getting ready to work my way back here on the galley. This is my glycol heating system tempering tank. It's about 3.5 inches deep, 17 wide, 22 inches long, 24 inches long. And right now I'm checking for leaks. I got 5 PSI, that's down to 3 because my pressure cap only goes to 5-ish. So you can see bubbles there. That doesn't matter, it's just there. I'm more concerned about any bubbles on welds. So this is a tank that allows the heating system to have a reservoir. So as I'm circulating my glycol from my boiler, it doesn't just slam back in cold to the boiler and then get hot and cycle up and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. This allows to have a heat sink in the system. A lot of times people don't understand, they're seeing these heaters come on and off and on and off, and it's because they don't have enough reservoir fluid in the system in order to keep it stabilized. So this is 6 gallons. I have it baffled 3 places, and it circulates through, mishmashes the glycol, because I have glycol heat, which then I have some 12 volt actuator, valve actuators that allow for each one of my heaters, one to my hot water tank, and that's how I'll control the heating system. I have little air blowers from each area that I want to heat. So far it looks good. Like I say, that's just coming off my threads. That's all right. I'm just concerned I don't want to see anything bubbling in the interim. That's all right. That's just bubbles falling down from up here. That's just foam in there. There's no foam on the bottom. So I'll do a flip it over and check it, and I think we'll be good to go. So I've fit the Helm Chair. Had to build a little 8-inch stand to bring it up to height. So all the measurements and thinking is coming together. Feels pretty comfortable in there. And I've started my run now for the galley. That's the framing fridge there. The sink is in there, so this is going to be open storage. A little shelf space, and then the stove, oven next. And you can see the console. And that console will be hinged down here, so it folds down so I can get into it to work on everything. The electrical panel is back down in that hole. So this is coming in from the aft of the boat into the cabin. As you can see, yeah, the seat does stick out. It's a big seat, 30 inches wide. So it's pretty big, pretty comfortable. And it folds up and down and it reclines. Has a little lever on it. And then it has an adjustable for weight-wise, and then it has a slide on it, so it has a 5-inch differential slide. So the console is all in place. That's where the MDF screen goes, steering helm there. That's the main shifters for the main Suzukis. Down here is where the throttle shifter will be for the kicker motor, for the trolling motor, which is a 25 horse high thrust. That'll be the starting key for it. That's accessed in there because that's my passageway so that I can get any systems I need back in here. I'm going to be mounting another blower heat exchanger back in here so that I can put heat on this side of the boat. I've started framing out the galley area. That's where the fridge, it's a side-by-side, so it has a separate freezer from the refrigerator side. And this space here, the sink will go in there, and I'll have an opening for storage and then a drawer underneath. Drawers going up here. Stove oven, so this piece gets cut out in there. The stove oven unit slides in, and then underneath I'll have a drawer, a pull-out drawer there. And then here was planning on drawers, but I'm thinking maybe just put a shelf in there just for storage with just an opening door on it. So I've just completed the galley, all the framing. So I put that piece there on so that I can flush a piece of wood over the insulation. I'm going to be insulating this whole wall coming down. That is for the shore power outlet. It's on the outside, that hole. So the power feed will drop down, come underneath here. I have a pathway here and the electrical panel is right here. So that keeps my shore power within 10 foot, which is ABYC regulations for proper protection with this ELCI, which is a sensor that senses current fault to ground or common. So that meets that standard. It's a 30 amp standard plug-in though. So fridge opening, these are here so that when we get ready to put our top on, we just bed the material here to glue the countertop material, and we'll just fill this in, putty it, glue it all the way around over in there. This is the sink opening, the sink storage area underneath, drawer. I put this lip on because once again, insulation comes down. I need a place to put wood to hold this bottom flap of the insulation. Since the trim of the windows will hold here, backsplash will come down underneath. It'll secure to this aluminum with screws up top. I'll put a piece of wood on here. It's going to run down. It's kind of our spice rack paraphernalia, right, to keep stuff. Stove, once again, that's the propane pipe, 1.5 inches that goes all the way direct out. So my propane sensors are here. I'm gonna have an outlet here. So here's a little storage cabinet that I put in this corner. It'll get finished out with an edge on this side, and then I'll just sculpt it and then have a wooden face on this whole thing, or split it, I'm not sure yet. So I cut the door out. The door right now is 26 RO rough opening, which leaves me about a 24-inch finished opening to pass through for the door. That RO up top is 6'6", should give me about 6'5"-ish, 6'4 3/4 headroom. Finishing off the aft steering console. It'll have a little 12-inch steering wheel on this with the controls for the Suzuki's. And up top will be the Optimus unit. And then down there is the propane locker, which once again, it has a overflow or a drain out that goes down straight outside, so any fumes will vent down through there. I gave it a 4-inch lip to hold anything. That's going to have foam around them. The tanks will sit right in. I'll probably put something in there like a bungee elastic holder, but the regulator will be in there, and that'll be the emergency shut off. So if the gas sensor senses gas, it'll turn that valve off. So once again, the doorway is all cut out, and I got about 2 days left of framing around door, finishing little stuff on the steering console, aft steering console. This frame this out, get this finished off in here, and then I'm pretty much out of this area for welding. I'm done in the boat. Last thing left is like this tackle center storage on this aft area that goes from right about there all the way to the side. So that's about where I'm at. I got about a week's worth of welding left, serious welding, and that'll take care of the majority. I'll be 99.9%. And of course, there'll be a few little things here I'll stumble on, but I think I've got it to the point where it's pretty well done. That's a good feeling.